everyone, and welcome to the Sixth Report. Today I'm joined with Robert Boyd, President and CEO of Endurance Gold, to discuss the recent drill results. Robert, thank you for joining us today. Can we start with your thoughts on these recent drilling results? Did they meet your team's expectations?
Well, yes, they did. We're pleased to see the Imperial zone continuing to open up with drilling, and it's actually our second best drill hole on that zone. But it's all part of a big picture. We've got a large gold system we're trying to define over about 1.5 kilometers, and we've found zones now at Imperial and Eagle, and now we're opening the zone up with additional drilling at Imperial, and we're still waiting for results in one hole in particular at Imperial that we're hopeful for. And we opened the system up again to the with about 170 or 180 meter step out to the northwest in that Diplomat zone, and still got another good intersection there, lower grade than the highlight intersection, but still very good. So yeah, it has met our expectation. The statistics of our drilling are continuing to be good.
Perfect. Why don't you go ahead and provide more details on the geological characteristics of the mineralization at Reliance along the Royal Shear Zone? What do you know, and more importantly, what do you not know about these zones?
Well, the Royal Shear is, we're in a compressional regime, so it's an orogenic type gold setting, and there's a lot of CO2 alteration. So it's typical of an orogenic type gold system, except we're higher level here. We're up in a brittle, the mineralization looks like it's related to a brittle portion in a brittle ductile structure. So we're in a big compressional structure, and within that there's a mineralized structure that we've identified. So it's an orogenic setting, but we call it a high-level orogenic setting or epizonal orogenic. So it has analogies to Fosterville and some of these Newfoundland gold discoveries that have an antimony association and mineralization that's related to stibnite in our case. But most of the gold is essentially typical of an orogenic setting with arsenic and antimony, but in this case, because of high level and antimony signature as well.
Perfect. So based on these current drilling results, what are your next steps for exploration and development at Reliance?
Well, we announced about a month ago when we got started on our program that our objective is to do about a 15,000 meter program this year. So we're continuing at that exploration with one drill at present, and we're now up drilling at the Eagle Zone, and it's one of the many, one of the two key zones that we've identified that have gaps between them that remain undrilled. And so our objective this year is to fill in those gaps near surface and to open up the systems, both at Imperial and Eagle at depth, and to grow the potential of this system. Our objective is to identify a potentially multi-million ounce gold system, but in particular, we want to get over that million ounce type threshold is our objective.
Why don't you go ahead and provide a further update on the progress of the drilling at the Eagle Zone? What have you discovered there to date, and how have these results may contribute to the overall resource potential of the Royal Shear gold system?
Yeah, it's a good question. And the Eagle is a zone we've been drilling. This will be our third year of diamond drilling on the Eagle zone, and we've now defined it with both RC and diamond drilling over about a 550 meter strike length, and it's pretty consistently mineralized within that strike length. We get about 70% of the drill holes get significant intersections, and when I say significant, that's anything over 3 grams over. Anything over about 3.5 grams over 3 meters in width. So it's got a good width to it. And we get intersections. We've got several intersections that are better than 10 gram over 10 meter width. So pretty significant types of hits that we're getting along that Eagle Zone. And it's all near surface, about 70% of the hit I mentioned, but also all the drilling up to this year, the drill penetrations we've got are less than 70 meters below surface. So it's a near, what we've identified is an outcropping orogenic gold system outcropping and defined over that strike length of about 550 meters with good statistics in the drilling. And now the purpose of this year's program, which we've now started drilling up in that area, is to expand that system at depth and to fill in the holes. So right now we are drilling slightly deeper holes in the Eagle zone to make that system grow at depth. And we don't have any assay results for those holes yet. We've only completed 3, or maybe onto our 4th hole at present, but we're still awaiting assays on those. And so we don't have a lot to report on them, but we are encouraged by what we're seeing.
Okay, appreciate that. So how does the Reliance Gold project compare to other gold systems in the Brarlone Pioneer Gold Mining Camp in terms of size, grade?
Yeah, sorry. That's Braylorn is the way we pronounce it. Everybody pronounces it differently, but it's a historic camp. It's actually the largest historic gold producing camp in the province of British Columbia, and it's only a 4-hour drive north of Vancouver. And that camp was actively mining from 1930s to 1970s and produced over 4.2 million ounces of gold out of the Braylorn Pioneer Mine. Our discovery is a new discovery on surface about 10 kilometers away on a parallel structure. Mineralization looks different because the gold we've identified is associated with breccias in a brittle deformation zone, whereas at Braylorn, it's more of a typical crack and seal type quartz vein that you'll see in the typical orogenic type gold system. But scientific studies done in the district indicate that the fluid chemistry and age date relationships are identical between what we've discovered on surface and the Braylorn camp. So it's just what we're onto is a different expression of the same gold system, but it's expressing itself in a different method in terms of breccias and cataclast type breccias or basically brecciated fault zones that are mineralized, so over significant lengths.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense. So what can people look forward to for the remainder of the year from Endurance Gold?
Well, we're drilling now. We started in May, and we're now actively drilling with 1 drill, and we hope to expand that program to 2 drills as we open up and build our infrastructure and additional roads and drill setups that we're working on at the same time that we're drilling now with 1 drill. So we've got a busy season planned of drilling right now, and that will be consistently delivering results and as the season progresses. We're going to have a busy summer, and that's probably going to continue right well into the late fall. And we can drive onto the property year round, so the opportunity exists to explore this property year round because of this historic gold camp. It's the infrastructure is good there. It's remote by BC's standards, even though it's only 4 hours from Vancouver, drive from Vancouver. It's remote, but it's serviced in the area, serviced by hydroelectric facilities of BC Hydro power dams are in the area. So.
Robert, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming on to update the audience.
Well, thank you, Kyle. Take care.